Good morning. Welcome to episode 10 of That Morning Cup. Cheers. Man, has it been a hectic 2 weeks. So I've been working on the biggest job of the business's life. Preparing this plot of land for a couple's forever home, right? It's my buddy's dad and his wife. Where they plan to build and live the rest of their days. So it's a lot of pressure. It was a lot of pressure. I spent about 10 straight days on the job site, cutting down trees, processing them up. Then we got a chipper. Just getting the area cleared and ready for a home. And now, this was such a life-changing week, to be honest. There was a lot of pivotal things that happened and just kind of life-altering things. Some stuff that has caused a great deal of stress. Not bad stress, but good stress to an extent. Excitement. Without going too much into detail or whatnot, it seems like I'm going to be sole owner very, very soon here of the landscape company. And for no bad reasons at all. It was just some difficult conversations that needed to be had because for the preservation of friendship, relationships, and just overall people's health mentally. And we're too young, to be making decisions that are potentially going to last us a lifetime. It's time to right now take advantage of our youth and make decisions that we are the most happy with, not decisions that we feel like we should make or that we're pressured into making or that seem to be the right decisions for a person. You need to make the decisions that deep down your heart, whether it's a scary decision, a difficult decision to make, you need to make that decision if that's what will make you happy. You need to lean into that. Look around you, find what your passions are, and lean into that. So, I will continue to be landscaping, but my partner will not, and that I'm completely fine with that. I'm happy for him. I did not want to keep dragging him to do things that he didn't want to do. You could tell it's not his passion. His passion is the gym, fitness. So shout out Riley. If you guys need any workout programs, hit him up. Seriously, the dude knows what the fuck he's talking about. He has a crazy physique, obviously, and this is something that he's genuinely passionate about, and he loves to help people reach their goals. And not even just fitness, just life advice, period, right? So hit him up. You don't need to live in the area either. You don't need to live in Buffalo. He does sell programs. But it was an amazing conversation that we had. It put a lot of stress on both of us because now we're going our separate ways, and it's like now there's full-blown pressure on us as individuals, not as us as partners anymore. But it's exciting. It removed a lot of animosity, and it allowed us to become closer again, right? There's no more animosity causing a little bit of separation there. So that was necessary, and I'm happy for the both of us. No bad blood, which we're good, or it's good that we had the conversation now before there was any bad blood, before resentment could build and whatnot. But that being said, today I want to talk about just betting on yourself and going kind of against the grain, right? It's a quote that I've been saying for years of there's people around you that are going to try to push you to make decisions that they seem, that they deem rather to be the best for you. And granted, there's times where that might be beneficial because they have an outside, a third-party perspective. They're not in it, so they see it from a detached angle, so they might be able to identify what would be best, hypothetically speaking. But I have a saying, especially when it comes to like your elders, not just parents, but aunts, uncles, whoever, grandparents. I have a saying that it's like, God willing, if everything works out correctly the way the universe usually does, they technically should die before you. And that sounds super grim, like, man, you're already like wishing death. And it's not wishing death or anything, but it's the truth. Parents, elders, whatever, at some point they're going to die. So you can't continue to just make decisions off what they want you to do, because when they die, you have to live the rest of your life with that decision, whether that's your career or whatnot, right? Also, my hands are disgusting, and I promise you they're cleaned. They're just so stained from just oil and diesel and dirt and schmegma. But I digress. Moving on. So always bet on yourself, okay? Don't do what seems comfortable, or don't do what will satisfy other people's expectations of you, because it'll get you nowhere. You might be able to make all this money, or you might be able to have all this fortune from it, but if you lay your head on that pillow and you're not satisfied with the life that you're leading, it's going to end in catastrophe for you. And I'm a firm believer in, if you don't love what you're doing, this has been more apparent this last week than ever. Like, it is such a cliche saying, but it is so true. If you don't love what you're doing, it's going to go nowhere, right? To truly be successful and to build something huge and beyond your being and yourself, you need to love it. It cannot feel like work. Although at times can it feel like you need to lock in and fucking stick it out. Yes, obviously, no matter how much you love anything, there's times where, okay, this feels like a grind. But I'm going to say 85% of the time it should feel pretty like cruise control, right? Like, you don't really have to force yourself to do decisions and to go through with things. And giving your 100% isn't something that's even negotiated in your head. It's something that just happens because of the love of the craft that you're doing. And the desire to excel. The desire to expand whatever you're doing forces you almost to give it your all. Now, if you're not genuinely in love with whatever you're doing, that's going to be really hard. And it's going to take just an immeasurable amount of willpower and grit. Then if you loved it, you're always going to be beat by somebody that genuinely loves it. Because to them, it's not work, it's fun. You know, like, I genuinely love running machines, just being in the woods, cutting down trees. Like, the highlight of the past 10 days, I worked 10, 11 days straight, 13, 12, 10, hour days. And it went by like that because I didn't even think of it, because I genuinely enjoyed getting my morning coffee, walking into the woods, every morning I was seeing deer. I mean, it's a bittersweet job because, yes, I'm getting the work and I love the work, but I'm losing my hunting spot. So I'd walk in and see the deer. They'd be eating the buds out the tops that we just dropped. And it wasn't even a thought of like, man, this is work. It's just, I was having a blast doing it. Now, it's not totally over yet. We're going to get a way bigger machine this upcoming week and dig out the stumps. But the tree dropping portion is like 99% done. We might drop a couple more, but all that should be good to go, which was very stressful, to be honest. There was some that I thought for sure we were going to have to subcontract out to either like the Amish or some local tree guys that I know. But we tackled it. And it's the most fulfilling feeling ever. It really is. It's like, wow, I'm like proud of myself that it was something I was so nervous and so stressed to do. And it's been 2 years in the making. And it's almost done. And knock on wood, no injuries. Nothing happened. Like, no chainsaws getting smashed up. No equipment breakage. We had a hydraulic line leak like day 3 or 4 or something, so that almost ate up the whole day waiting for a mechanic to come figure that out, and it was just a loose fitting, which I said, I think this fitting's just loose, but I didn't want to tamper with it because I'm not, I don't know really hydraulic lines and all that, and it's a rented piece of equipment. I don't want to mess anything up. But I'm humbled, that I was able to accomplish this. It was a big task, and I wasn't too certain. And everybody around me was a little bit nervous, as they should be, and I was nervous as well. I treat tree work. I've been cutting trees down and running a chainsaw my whole life, feels like. And so I treat it with the utmost respect, like the utmost respect, because I know it can become deadly fast if you're not paying attention. You need to respect these trees. They're just, it's a big, just trunk of energy. There's so much energy in that thing that it's got to go somewhere. And when you're cutting it down, you don't realize something's stacked on something or twisted up in something that could snap. You're cutting and there's times you feel that pressure on them limbs. If they're wrapped up, you drop one, they land all twisted up in another tree's trunk, and you're cutting it could smash your face. And just moving the logs with the excavator and that, you got to be careful. I ran a strict program of like, make yourself very, 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 very known. Like whether you call me, text me, or just stay way away until you see that I visually recognize that you're in the woods with me before you walk into the woods, because I didn't need any accidents going on when we're trying to operate, whether somebody sneaks up behind you or whatnot. And you should always be, I was always super vigilant and aware, but I didn't need to be chronically like looking all the time. Every time I tried to back up and stuff, making sure nobody was like behind me. And I knew Riley and the client were in the woods with me. So like before I'd move, I'd identify both of them and I'd move, right? I didn't need that extra pressure of like, okay, is somebody just gonna all of a sudden be behind me, whether my dad or his wife or whoever, buddies, whatnot. So I made it very, very clear before signing the job. Make yourself super known before you even get anywhere near the machine. Whether you call me, text me, or just be way, way away and like wave me down and say, hey, look, I'm here, Because it's a high-risk job. It is no joke. But it feels good to be home. I was away from home for about like 12 days, I think. 11, 12 days, something like that. I didn't film one of these. I was just working. So I missed a week, which sucks, but it feels good to be back filming another video. Episode 10 of That Morning Cup. It's just getting thrown out that schedule messes with you mentally a little bit. But it needed to be done because this job I needed to give the job my 120% focus. The clients are super happy, which is, always the best. And I'm expecting to get some calls, for the next year or whatnot when it comes time to the final grade for the lawn. And just whatever landscape needs they desire. Hopefully I could fulfill and they give me the call. That being said, the season is here. It is like a couple days away. By 2 weeks from now, I'll be probably mowing full swing. Not even 2 weeks, starting the 1st. So by the time you guys watch this, what's today, Wednesday, 3rd? I got like, by the time you guys watch this, a week. I have one more week. And then it's full swing mowing. And back into the grind, which is nice because I'll have a lot of content opportunities. I always have my GoPro on me filming and whatnot. So it's easier to get footage up. But this stuff starts to lack a little bit. And now this year, now that I'm taking complete control of everything, responsibility, this is going to lack even more. Which I need to try to find a time in which I could get that in, because it's essential for my mental health. I have to. I can't go too long without these. Or I start to not feel like myself. If that makes sense. I start to feel like I'm missing something. Same thing with the gym. This was the longest time I've gone without going to the gym. Probably since sophomore year of high school. My record, the longest I've gone since sophomore year of high school without going to gym consecutive was 4 days. Now I went 13 days. But I'm going today. So 12 days without going to the gym, which blows. But I mean, I was working till dark every night, and I was like, this is, life's getting serious. So it's like I need to be able to be comfortable, not lifting 6 days a week and maybe having to go 10 days without going to the gym to ensure I'm getting a job done to the best of my ability, and just so I can focus all my energy on that job. Because that's, at the end of the day, the most important. That's what's going to feed my future family. That's what's going to feed my current, family. Not that I have to feed anybody per se, but I want to make sure I have a solid foundation in case one of my loved ones, theirs gets a little soft or a little cracked and they need to jump ship and land on some solid foundation. I want to make sure that I always have one in case somebody needs it. And then especially future family, I want to buy a house in that one day and be able to have kids and such. So going to the gym chronically is not going to help that. Yes, I am. Do not misconstrue my words at all and try and say that I am trying to say like the gym isn't important, because it is. To be physically fit, it's the ultimate enhancer to performance mentally, and just physically. Like when you're in this line of work, you need to be physically fit to perform. So I'm not by any means saying that work is more important than the gym. It is to an extent, but you still need to get it in at least 3-4 days a week. Hit your weights, run a little bit, make sure you're good to go, because in 20 years, hopefully when I have kids and a home and whatnot, and I could kind of pull back from the work a little bit and I could delegate some responsibility, I want to be able to be fit enough in that to play with my children and that, And I mean, I'll only be 44, 43, 44, so hopefully I will be, but you can't get too deep and focus into work to where you forget about that stuff, because it's a lot harder to become fit when you're older than it is to just maintain a level of fitness your whole life, right? I don't want to become so out of shape and then I'm 45 and I'm trying to I'm kicking my butt to try to get back in shape. I'd rather just stay in shape until I'm 45, or until I die, really. So then I don't have to ever worry about working dramatically hard to get back into shape, because, I mean, it's already relatively difficult, to get into shape as is. Now you tack on 20 plus years and you tack on just depleted levels of testosterone and and youth juice. That sounded absolutely fucking disgusting, but this is truth. So I just have never wanted to lose a level of fitness, and luckily the past 12 years of my life I've always been relatively pretty fit and I haven't lost it. So that's not going to change, because I don't want to be a burden on anybody, and I don't want to be a burden on myself and have any regrets. So make sure you're getting to the gym 2-3 days a week, or 3-4 days a week. My bad, not 2-3 days. I mean, if you could only get in 2 days a week, get in 2 days a week, but try 3-4, maybe 5. Hit some runs here and there, and just focus on work. It's going to be an exciting summer for sure. Whether good or bad, there's going to be excitement. Whether it's good excitement or bad excitement. It's just a lot of responsibility really fast. But, I mean, I've been through so much already in life. I also didn't even post anything 3 days ago, the 27th. When you guys are seeing this. 4, 5, 6, 7 days, a week ago. Was 14 years epilepsy free for me. Which that was definitely a weird day. Friday, because I was working, and there was some times I'm like, man, it's getting pretty tiring. I'm pretty beat up. And I enjoy the anniversary day, because it just is always a gut check every year of like, you beat that, you defeated that. You could do pretty much anything, like This is not worse than that. And knock on wood, I haven't found anything that's been worse than that. So, as of right now, 100% of my experiences, I could look back on the epilepsy and go, this, what I'm dealing with right now at this current moment, is not worse than that. And I did that when I was a kid. You know, I did that when I was less than a year until 10 years old. Like, come on. I can't handle it now. I can't handle this chainsaw, and I can't handle this mulch. You know, I can't handle this stress. It's like my brain can handle it because my body endured so much for so many years. I was an adolescent, a child, and that young child's body was able to endure epilepsy, seizures, and it's like now my adult, you know, like quote unquote in my physical prime as a man, I can't endure fucking chainsawing. Like, come on, that's crap, man. I can't endure running. I can't endure weightlifting. Like, it's all perspective. And I've been asked before, like, would you change this? Would you change that? And no. I would not change it for the world. I'm a firm believer in it. It's what makes me me, and it gives me this slight edge. It gives me this chip. It gives me this psychosis, some would even say. I could definitely become a maniac from time to time just because I feel like I'm constantly aware of the shit I went through with that. I mean, people die from it. Knock on wood, I didn't. You know, thank God. Not knock on wood. I mean, I could technically get it again and then fucking have another seizure and die. But 14 years since I've had one. So I think we're, knock on wood, I've said that 10 times, good to go. But it always lingers in the mind of like, this could all be taken away in the snap of fingers. And not just even life, but driving and operating heavy machinery and all that could be taken away from me in an instant. All it takes is a neurotransmitter, it's a neural circuit to misfire, and I am cooked. It's just when you have that much uncertainty in childhood, you know, it sets you up for relative success growing up, because now uncertainty isn't something so like unfamiliar to me or so uncomfortable. The nervousness, that pit in your stomach, it's not something that I'm like, it's not overwhelming. And you couple that with sports and all that, and I've always just kind of, you know, multiple times a year had that pit in my stomach where, oh man, I gotta go before a football game or before a wrestling match, or, you know, then I'm going to get EEGs. EKG is on your heart. EEGs is on your head. I had to get that multiple times a year, and that would always give me a pit in my stomach. So it's not an unfamiliar feeling. And I think it's given me that edge I've needed going into business, especially because I was uncertain going into this job, whether I was able to handle it, whether I got the right equipment. Like, just this, seemed so beyond my pay grade, you know. But I broke it down for what it is, and at the end of the day, it's cutting trees down, cutting them up, and moving them. Yes, inherently dangerous. No, not too complicated, you know. Once they're on the ground, you just got to be careful. That's it. It's not like we're solving quantum theory or anything, or I'm not building a supercomputer. I'm not even like, it's not even like concrete or anything. It's not like building a house where there's these measurements and that. You're literally just dropping trees in the woods. You don't have to worry about it hitting a house or nothing. So I think that's extremely powerful. That's the biggest takeaway from this job is breaking something down to its absolute smallest. Just take it for what it is. Okay, how can you break it down? Like reading, for example, a 300-page book. It's like, man, I have to read 300 pages. If you look at it like that, it seems so just outrageous, right? I mean, some people are going to say 300 pages, I read that in a day. But to the average person, that's a lot of pages. So if you break it down for really what it is, it's 1 page at a time, which that might be a little too small of a scale. But break it down to 10 pages. If I read 10 pages for a month, I'll finish the book. It'll be done. And that's what I took into this job of, if we look at it, it's like, man, we have to go in there and drop all these trees. It could be like 60 trees or 70 trees, or it's going to take this many hours and all this. And it's like, what if this tree lands? It just seemed overwhelming. But once I just really sat with it, thought about, okay, let me break it down for what it is. All it is cutting trees down and moving them. And once I was able to quantify that, it put me at ease. Because I'm like, okay, it's just 1 tree at a time. And then obviously there were some nerves going into it. But then just like a football game, that first hit knocks those jitters away. That first tree fell, and the jitters, they started to dissipate a little bit. And then they would come back when we cut down this oak that I couldn't even hug. And it was like 100 feet. I'm not even exaggerating, like 100 feet tall. It was monstrous. Insert the clip now, actually. Yeah, that thing was no joke. And that definitely gave me the pit in my stomach, for sure. Because I'm like, if this goes sideways, that's going to be no bueno. But, you know, fortunately for us, everything went A-okay. And it was such a loud, just absolute bang. And what I noticed is when we were cutting down oaks compared to like maples and stuff, and cherries, you had to cut so much of the oak for that fucker to fall. It was nuts. Like cherries or maples and that, like you cut your notch, and then you cut the back a little bit. You take some off the sides, just you're ensuring it falls straight or where you want it to fall. And there'd be like a good section of it left that your chainsaw didn't go through, but the machine would push it right over. This 100-foot oak, and in a couple of the oaks, we cut, it seemed like, I don't even know, 95% of the tree, and it was like the machine wasn't knocking it over. And it was like the smallest little amount that wasn't cut by the chainsaw was holding that fucker up still. So we knew, like after the first one, like, all right, we need to know, or we need to make sure we're cutting like crazy on these oaks, so we don't have to keep like engaging back into the danger zone to try to cut more while we're trying to push it over. Ooh, there was some maximum pucker factor moments, for sure. But we're still here to tell the tale. I had a blast. Such a good time. But I got a lot to do today, just with estimates and whatnot, and trying to pick up more work. Trying to schedule a ton of work. An overwhelming amount of work. You know, I'd rather have too much work than not enough. But it feels good to be back in the saddle. Filming that morning cup. But my cup is almost done as we speak. I'm on my last sip. I hope your guys' cup was absolutely phenomenal. I hope the past 2 weeks of work were great for you guys. And then I hope everybody gets ready for this weekend. And to not waste it, but to take advantage of it. To use it to create something better for yourself. Or to work on yourself. Feels good to be back. Let's finish this last sip. Hitting today. All right. I will talk to you guys next Friday. Peace.